Hi everyone, a common question I'm getting is where is the calculator value control for the new responsive designer for Office 365? So in the old designer we had a label control, a rich text control, and a calculator value control, all doing very similar functions. So what we want to do is make the experience easier, and we're reducing the amount of controls that do the same thing. So now we just use the label control, and what that does is I've got a quantity and a price. So if I wanted to calculate the total, I've got label control. Inside the label control, I can go ahead and create a variable. So I'm going to say LBL total, and I'm going to say something like, I'm going to put a dollar symbol, bracket, price, times by, whoops, what have I done wrong? Plus price times by quantity. And what's going to happen is it's saying, well, the string and a number don't match. It has to be text because it's a label. So then we have to say convert to string, close the bracket, remove the other one. Okay, so now we're ready to go. Click create and insert, and it's going to put it in there. So let's go to the preview and see how it works. So we say I'm going to want 12 widgets at $6 each. I get $72. That looks great. It works. It's the same as a calculator value control. However, I kind of like that 72 to look like this price control. So we can do that by removing this label control, or keeping it there if you wanted to, but I'm just going to replace this with a currency control. So it looks very similar. And I'm going to call this total. Now we'll go back to our variables. I'll keep this here for a moment. What I might do is I want to actually use a very, very similar thing, but I don't want a text one. So I'm going to copy that, create a new variable, and I'm going to make it a integer, paste my function in here. I no longer need a string, so I can get rid of these brackets, and then I can call this int total. Now we go and create that. Now we've got this, but how do we put that into our control in the total field here? So we go to the rule. So we say an input rule would be set the total, and I say if price is filled and quantity is filled, then total value, and then you have the insert button here, and we can do the insert. I have done something wrong because it's not an integer, it's actually a decimal. So that was me being a bit silly. So let's keep that rule there for a moment, come back to variables. I'm going to copy that one because a calculations on money, which is a decimal, not an integer, so that's not really going to work. So I'm going to cancel and delete that one and create a new one, paste it back in, make sure it's a decimal. Create and go back to our rule. So this is the rule I was creating before. So set the total. If the price is filled and the quantity is filled, the total value is going to be, and click on here, and I can now insert my decimal value. So I insert that in there. Now if these are not filled, then what I can do is actually say, well, set the total to be blank. So I say value blank and update that rule. So we'll go back to here and I say I want to buy 5 widgets at $5. It now says $25 with that nice symbol there. If I get rid of that, nothing, blanks out again. Put in something ridiculous, and there you go. So hope that's helpful to you. I hope that explains why we took that direction. It gives more power, more flexibility, more options, and also reduces the confusion on which control to use when. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Cheers.